opening statement.
We're pleased to get that first weekend under our belt. Obviously, it's good to get out there and play another team. I thought our guys played well, had a good weekend, had some good results. Obviously, very excited about this upcoming weekend, going down to Florida in Gainesville, playing a top level team. The environment, it's going to be another good test for our guys, and obviously really excited about playing Miami here, our home opener. Hopefully we can bottle this weather. The weather's great right now, temperature-wise, and hopefully we'll have that type of weather next week when we play Miami and have a good crowd out here.
Just looking down here, I see at least eight local high school guys I'm familiar with, and we've talked before, but about how key it is to circle the wagons and keep the good talent here.
Yeah, that's a top priority with our recruiting, is to keep the good local talent here. Cincinnati has great baseball, high school baseball, amateur baseball, so we're trying to keep the best players here. And again, obviously, we feel that we've got a good product, and the more we get keep those local people here, the better I think the program's going to be.
Brendan came in and did a good job in relief. He's a kid I watched, pretty solid. He looks well, you hope to keep everyone around 4 years, but he looks to be a pretty solid contributor for you.
Yeah, I thought our pitching did a really good job this weekend. Friday our game got away from us. The conditions, the wind was just absolutely howling out, and some of those balls that got up, again on maybe another day would have been flyouts, but you got to play in those conditions, and the ball just got out. But I thought all our pitchers did a really good job this past weekend, and again, Brendan coming in as a freshman, man, he came in a good situation, was able to slam the door. But I thought for the most part our pitching was really strong.
What are you expecting or hoping to be the strength of your team this year?
That's a good question. I think the biggest strength we have is our depth, and you can kind of see that with our offense. I think offensively we were really strong last year. Kyle Sprague and Lee Sponsel do a really good job running our offense, and we have a little bit more, some more options this year. We're a little bit more dynamic because we can do some things. Like last year, I think we relied too much on the home run. I think we'll hit our fair share of home runs, but we can, again, manufacture some runs with some small ball hit and runs. Which again, this weekend we hit a couple home runs, but yet we manufactured some runs. So that's going to be one of our strengths. I also think our pitching is going to be one of our strengths. J.D. Heilman and Austin Woodby have done a really good job developing our pitching staff, and I feel comfortable with some of our guys. We played 4 games this past weekend. Usually we play 3, so we're still right now in the process of trying to figure out our roles and all that. But again, I'm going to name another. I think our defense, we made some plays this past weekend that I don't think we made last year. And so that helped our pitching and keep the runs down. Then we were able to come back and win a couple of those games. I think I kind of threw a big blanket on that one. I apologize. But I do feel that we have more depth on the mound. We have more depth defensively and offensively. So we're going to be able to, and like right now, we're looking at Florida, and they've got a really good pitching staff. We're trying to figure out what's going to be the best matchup hitting wise, and so we can plug those guys in to be successful instead of just saying, hey man, we're going to run these guys out there.
Understanding that your job is next practice, next game, but you have this massive transition coming up for the program, the entire athletic department here in the next calendar year. How do you go about balancing what you're doing now and then trying to get this program ready to go to the Big 12?
I think that's a really good question, and I think that started, we didn't have the year we thought we were going to have last year, and our theme has been this year is hit the reset button, not only to finish strong in the American, but to be ready for the Big 12. And so our focus right now is on the American, but it is getting back to being Bearcat baseball. And I don't want to say it got away from us last year, but again, we've had a lot of veteran guys the last 2 years coming off the COVID. It's just we're getting back to the fundamentals, attention to detail, and I think that's going to, again, translate into being ready for the Big 12. But our guys have really bought into what we're doing, getting back to who we are.
Ryan Nicholson, first baseman, earns AC honor roll first week of the season. That's obviously what you want to see out of your first baseman. Redshirt junior, how has his development taken progression over his time here, and how big of expectations do you have for Ryan in that spot in the heart of your order this season?
Obviously, we have big expectation for him, and again, it was awesome for him to get those awards and that accolades. You know, you just don't want to put pressure on him because he's going to carry the team, but he doesn't have to carry the team, if that makes sense. And I think sometimes when you put guys in that role or those expectations, they try to do more than what they should. And he's gonna be a big part of our success this year. He's a great teammate. He's a hard worker, a really good leader. He's really grown and matured since he's been here, and it's awesome to see him have the success again that first weekend, because a lot of times, and you could probably look down our stats, some of those guys come out, everybody wants to do well that first weekend, first game, whether it's pitching, hitting, and sometimes baseball more than any other sport, I feel, the harder you try, sometimes the worse you do. And so I think, Ryan's got a good head on his shoulders, and again, looking for big things out of him, but he just has to be who he is, and he's gonna be fine.
How do you anticipate the jump in competition level going from a Georgia State to the #2 program in the country right now in Florida?
It's interesting because a lot of it's just name. Obviously, Florida has a lot of tradition, and they've got some high round, draft picks. But Georgia State's a really good team. They're really a gritty team, a hard-nosed, tough team. And again, I think it's going to benefit us a lot. Again, they didn't have the atmosphere that we're going to have at Florida, but this game, this weekend, really prepared us, I think, for this upcoming weekend. So we're excited about it. But again, sometimes you look at Georgia State. No, they're a really good ball club. They had over 30 wins last year. They have almost all their guys back. It was a really good test for us.
You lose a guy like Griffin Merritt, Player of the Year last season, but you still return guys like Cole Harding, Cam Sheeler, a few others, Ryan Nicholson in there as well. How important was this offseason for them, and how have you seen them make that transition into this season?
Well, anytime you lose some of those big bats like a Griffin Merritt or a Paul Comastek, it's going to leave a void. But we've got guys. One of our other mantras is next man up, and so we've got some guys that are eager to step in there, and they've worked extremely hard. That's kind of the backbone of who we are, is blue collar, hard working, and those guys have taken that to heart, and they've worked really hard, put themselves in a position to try to fill that void. I don't think you ever replace a Griffin Merritt. He's a special kid, but we're going to have guys that are going to step up.
There's a video that made the rounds, I can't remember the team, but dude hits a home run and flips the bat a little bit. So one of your guys hits a home run, flips the bat, you beat the Gators. Is that okay?
We try not to, but again, if the emotion happens, I want them to have fun out there. I want them to respect the game. I want them to respect their opponents. But again, if it happens, again, we'll talk about it. It's a coachable moment. But man, if we beat them, that's good.
And I don't know what Big 12 prices are next year, but $50 seems like a pretty good deal for however many games you guys get in, particularly if the weather's like.
I think it's a bargain. I think it's a great deal, and like I said, I think we put a good product out there, and I think this year the fans will be really pleased to see Bearcat baseball.
You have some upgrades either happening with the scoreboard, or I think new turf's coming for next year. I know you're focused on this season, but what does stuff like that do for the general excitement with the program?
I think it's huge. Right now they're putting the new video board up, and I think that does that help us win games? I'm not sure, but I think it helps with the fan experience, and so the better experience, and you see the Bearcats win, I think that people will come out more, so I think that enhances our game day operations. We have a great, video, Connor and some of these guys, Tyler, they do a really good job with promoting the program, and you can do that in game, and so people are going to enjoy the games more. I think the university's making a big commitment to baseball. We're doing the new turf this summer and the new fence, so I think it all enhances game day, the experience, and kind of the shine on the stadium.
One of your games this over the weekend was suspended. Can you talk me through what happened in that game? Because I couldn't really find too much of a write-up about what happened in that game and then what happened the next day.
Yeah, it was, again, it was two competitive teams getting after it. It was the bottom of the seventh. It was a tight game. We were down 3-2, and there was a ball hit, and there was a double play, and again, just the guy went into our guy somewhat hard, and things kind of escalated a little bit. You can't leave the bench. It's an automatic ejection and suspension, so when our guys left the bench, they left the bench. They had to stop the game, and so we have to stagger suspensions over the next 5 games. No punches were thrown. It was nothing that we want to see. That's not who we are. That's not what we want to be at UC and or any program that I'm a part of. But it happened, so it's a learning moment. We've got to control our emotions. It came official. It's a double forfeit. They forfeited, we forfeited. It's not good. We're trying to move on from that, but it's a learning lesson for us, and that's not who we are. But yeah, that's what happened.
Anything else? All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thanks.